Hi, welcome to On the Prowl. I'm Eric Levinson, Associate Sports Editor, here with Kevin Whitaker, Executive Sports Editor, and we're going to give you the rundown on this week's sports. So, Kevin, let's get started. How do you say?
Well, at Princeton Stadium on the beginning of fall break, we saw something that we don't usually see during Princeton football games. That would be a lot of white on the field.
Yeah, it was a snowy day, October 31st, is that right?
October 29th.
29th, and it snowed. It's one of the first times since you looked this up, was it in... Anyway, it snowed. It's crazy.
Snow in Princeton, and not even just like flurries, but actually on the field, 2 to 3 inches of snow sticking on the field and all around campus. It was really just surreal. That sort of threw a wrench into their game plans that neither team was really expecting 3 inches of snow in October.
Yeah, and you can see the pictures. You took pictures from the press box, and you couldn't see the lines or the end zones, and so it really threw the coaches for a loop there. But still, Chuck DeBillio, freshman running back, excelled again. His fourth straight week with the Ivy League Rookie of the Week, with a huge rushing performance.
Yeah, 158 yards. It was his career high against Cornell, then put up another 100-yard performance against Penn on this weekend. He's obviously been sort of the workhorse against Cornell. He carried, I think, 12 of the first 13 plays. So Sori's, especially in that weather, is definitely working him hard. But he's, as a freshman, handling that workload and obviously doing quite well with himself. It's one of the very positive signs from a less than positive season for the football team.
And unfortunately for the Tigers, they fell and there were no snow angels made that day. That's too bad because it looked like it could have been fun.
Elsewhere, the snow also affected another event that day. That was the HEPS Cross Country Championships at the West Windsor Fields. And so the men were racing at 11 o'clock, sort of when the snow was starting. The women were racing at 12 in much more dangerous conditions.
It made for a tough course, obviously running around Princeton with a few inches of snow everywhere. But the men's team ran well, and I think they took the Ivy title.
Men's team did run very well. Second straight Ivy title. They're ranked top 10 in the nation, have very big things on their minds. Women's team's run of 5 consecutive Ivy titles came to an end, unfortunately, for the Tigers.
And they came in third place.
Third place, yep. Don Cabral, Alex Van Fitch both came third place in their respective races individually. And speaking of Ivy titles, the field hockey team took one this weekend. Beat Penn on the road, 3-0 to clinch 7th consecutive Ivy title, ended up splitting it with Yale. But because the Tigers beat Yale head-to-head here at Princeton back in September, they'll get the automatic bid to a play-in game, which will happen on Tuesday.
Okay. It feels like he's been playing the whole season without some of their best stars who are playing for the U.S. national team. And the national team actually won this over a break, and so they will be qualified for a chance at the Olympics this summer.
Yeah, major upset over Argentina, and Katie Reinpracht and Marcel Cezanne both scored goals in the tournament, not in the final game, but in the tournament for Team USA. So 3 members of the Tigers were on that team in the Pan American Games. 4 Tigers will have the chance to make that Olympic team roster in 2012. So in those London Olympic Games, you might be able to see some Princeton athletes.
A really gutty performance by field hockey to pull through without some of their best players, and they've seen a lot of young players step up, and so they won the Ivy title. There's 2 for the year. We got some good stories coming up. Women's basketball and men's basketball previews this week. Women start on Friday, and men play on Saturday, and so we'll have some previews for you coming up this week.
Yeah, definitely 2 good storylines there for the women. They're the prohibitive favorite to win a 3rd straight title. That's sort of the team everyone looks to be. It might actually be one of the best in recent Ivy League history.
And they get back Naveen Rashid, who's one of their best power forwards, and one of the best power forwards in the league, and definitely in almost the country.
The easy favorite for Ivy League Player of the Year. So yeah, look for that. Then on the men's side, you have also a defending champion, but one that nobody's really giving a shot, and for good reasons, losing 2 key players, Kareem Maddox, Dan Mavrides, and you got a team like Harvard coming everybody back, a team like Yale improving, Penn also on the rise, Cornell on the rise. That's going to be a really good league. You can talk sort of in the preseason, every coach, all they can really talk about is how good the league is top to bottom this year.
And Harvard was voted by the Ivy League media to be the winner, and they received some votes in the AP poll, so that's something to look out for. And we've heard good things about Brendan Connolly this year, who's the junior center, and he's supposed to step up. And,
definitely at Media Day, Mitch Henderson just kept talking about Brendan Connolly as a guy. He said the touches that went to Kareem last year should go to Connolly this year. He also kept talking about Denton Kuhn as a freshman, one of the freshmen who might see some major playing time this year.
We haven't seen many freshmen play for the men's basketball team in recent years, but this year could be the one. So that's all for us. Thanks for sticking with us, and hopefully we'll see you next week. Stay tuned.